Hello, my name is Richmond Davis. I am the Republican candidate for Maryland's 7th Congressional District running against Elijah Cummings. Today I'd like to talk to you about Israel. As part of my preparation for entering the race for Congress, I visited Israel in the fall of 2017. I considered myself well informed on the situation in that part of the Middle East. Without question, Israel is a great friend of the United States. It's part of the West, after all, in terms of its democratic system and devotion to individual rights and values. There is no substitute for actually seeing what goes on in person. Although I considered myself well read on the subject of the Palestinian and Israeli dispute, I got a fuller understanding by visiting Israel and observing the West Bank area. Despite what people hope in the West, and in the United States in particular, the quest for a lasting peace, I'm afraid to say, is a fool's errand. When you're over in Israel and have contact with people on all sides, you realize the incredibly intense hatred. After all, one of the major opponents of Israel's existence is Hamas, which holds basically control over the Gaza Strip and is vying for control of the West Bank itself. They are sworn enemies of Israel. To think that we could enter into, the Israelis could enter into, with our support, an agreement with the likes of Hezbollah is ridiculous. They have not given up their desire to destroy Israel. In return, it's safe to say the Israelis are extremely skeptical of entering into any sort of peace agreement with people they consider, understandably so, as their eternal foes. Whether it will take an eternity to resolve that problem, I do not know. But it is unfortunately a foolish quest in the immediate, certainly in the short term, to think that we have a chance of accomplishing a lasting peace in the Middle East. What does that mean from a policy perspective? We must always be open to change, but we must be realistic in our appraisal. People change very, very slowly. Think of the animosities that have existed in our world over many, many centuries. People hating others. Think of the Bosnian crisis. Think of other parts of the world. Think of the Sunnis versus the Shias in the Middle East, in Iran, in Iraq, and Saudi Arabia. These are not hostilities that are going to disappear because, quote unquote, we want them to, or we send some, quote unquote, well-regarded negotiator there to solve the problem. It's not going to happen. America has its first obligation to preserve our security, to protect our nation, which requires us to pursue a strong national defense. And that means we must not lose sight of who are friends and who are enemies in the world. Certainly now and for the foreseeable future, Israel is a fast friend of ours. I hope you found this presentation of interest. If so, I hope you'll consider subscribing to this channel.